What's up, guys? Today we're going over the Starfire protocol. Before the season, this was by far Destiny 2's best exotic, and it got a huge nerf. So in this video, we're going to be going over if it's still worth using or not, or is it something you should never touch again. So jumping into the nerf, what did they change about it? Well, they reduced the amount of energy gained per instance of damage from 20 to 2.5%, but now added in empowered weapon kills now grant 20% grenade energy. So the whole goal of this was to push it away from being a DPS option and more into a neutral game exotic. So looking at the DPS potential of this exotic now, well, it takes like a good 8 seconds with Witherhoard constant damage to get a grenade back, which is way longer than it used to be, right? I think it used to be 1 second on the dot, now it's 8 times longer at 8 seconds. So even with my old, very conservative grenade spam DPS like combo, where I would mainly use the grenades to animation cancel to the Witherhoard and back to the rocket launcher, as you see, I don't even have my third grenade ready when I need it, let alone doing that combo over and over again. So in terms of pure DPS potential, Starfire is way worse than it used to be, nearly useless. Or is it? If you look at all the exotics on Warlock and on the other characters in general, point me in the direction of an exotic that adds a significant amount of damage to a boss fight. On Warlock, you really only have Sunbracers and Verity's Brow. Both require very extreme setups that aren't very plug and play like the old Starfire was. There really is no competition, and Starfire was a one-on-one, very unique exotic that did that. And the same can be said for both Titan and Hunter. Outside of the super exotics that buff super damage, there is no exotic in the game that did what Starfire used to do, just straight up doubling your damage during a boss fight just with infinite grenades. So yeah, comparing Starfire to what it used to be, obviously it's going to be really bad, but there is no other exotic in the game that can even remotely do what it used to do. And currently Starfire will still give you 3 or 4 grenades in a boss fight, more than basically every other exotic on Warlock. So in terms of DPS, there really is no other competition. It still is probably the best on Warlock in most situations for an exotic. And this update made it an even better neutral game exotic than it already was with the added grenade energy back on empowered weapon final blow. So put on any weapon with demo, for example the No Survivors with demo Incandescent or demo Adrenaline Junkie, which I have on the Unforgiven. And now we get the 20% back on empowered weapon kill plus the demo proc, and it equals roughly like 33% of your grenade back on every single final blow. So 3 kills to get a full grenade, but the rest of this build will make it even quicker. Looking at that, we obviously have Empowering Rift with Touch of Flame for the double explosions. Then we have Icarus Dash. You could use Heat Rises if you want. Then we have Ashes, along with Searing to help get our melee back, which will apply Radiant through the Ember Torches. And our 4th fragment right here will be the one where Solar Grenade Final Blows Cure You, Resolve. Then looking at our armor mods, there's going to be a few in here that are new to this build. Starting off with double Ashes assets to get our super comically fast. Then we have a Siphon matching our primary, Firepower, Grenade Kickstart, and 1 Momentum Transfer to feed into our melee. Then we have double Reserves matching our power weapon and a charged up, stacks on stacks with double Innovation to get a huge chunk of our grenade back when we pick up orbs. And the way we're going to pick up orbs with this build, with all the Rift spam, will be Powerful Attraction, where it automatically collects nearby orbs of power when you activate your class ability. Then when we do that, we will also have Distribution and 1 Bomber to get a huge chunk of our grenade back, along with a chunk of our melee. So now on all the way this build works, you just throw your grenade, put down your Rift, throw your grenade, put down your Rift, back and forth. Maybe every once in a while you'll need like 1 or 2 empowered weapon final blows in the Rift, and it's like a true infinite back and forth combo, because you're going to be sucking up all the orbs you create when you put down the Rift, which means you'll have stacks for Grenade Kickstart when you throw your next grenade. And all in all, nearly almost every single time, just throwing your grenade, putting down the Rift will be enough to get a full grenade back. And while you're doing all of this, every single grenade final blow will give you a chunk of health because of the Cure fragment. And putting down your Rift and getting grenade damage will feed into your melee, which will be very important for the Ancient Champions to proc Radiant, and just another buff for your weapon. But all in all, Starfire was always a great neutral game exotic, and it's actually gotten even better with this update, and is less reliant on doing damage and more so getting kills. And Starfire is still absolutely a great option for solo lost sectors, Nightfalls, anything with champions, because you have built-in Unstoppable with the solar ignitions. Then you have built-in barrier with the Radiant Melee, so you always have 2 of the 3 covered. The only one you need to use a weapon for will be Overload, so you can use something like Thunderlord or just a Scout this season, throw on a Demo Scout, and you're good to go. So overall, I just want to make this video for the people that might have just looked at the Nerf to Starfire Protocol, took it off, and literally never used it again. Starfire Protocol might not be good for DPS like it used to be. It's still an okay option being able to throw 3 or 4 grenades, but I think comparing it to its old self is almost not even fair, because it's not like other exotics could even get close to doing what it did. So comparing it to that, yeah, it's pretty bad, but comparing it to every other exotic in the game, it's still absolutely one of the best in the entire game. Really good for neutral play, still adds damage to a boss fight, and overall a lot more healthy for the game, and more in line with the scope of power of most exotics. Before, it was practically a must-use on Warlock at all times because of the fact that it was really good for neutral play and offered by far the best DPS in the game. But now there's room for all the other great Warlock exotics and builds to breathe. Anyways, let me know what you think about Starfire down below. Like usual, the rest of the video will just be some gameplay in the Nightfall / the weekly Legend mission. Well, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.
Suppression change again. We can't lose all of our power.
Go closer to this. I have a hypothesis. That device is of pyramid origin, built to suppress our power, our known power. Callus is not prepared for Strand. Use it to overcome their suppression field.
Scanning the area